Hattiesburg Tigers Coaches Show live from Walk-On's Bistro and Bar here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And tonight we're going to talk about the Tigers' first region win, 1-0 in the region, win over Wayne County War Eagles, and we're going to look ahead to Friday night's game against Pascagoula. We're also going to have a special guest tonight, so waiting on him to arrive, and we'll throw him in here whenever he gets here. But it's going to be a fun night. Happy to have everybody with us, watching on Facebook live here in the room with us. We're going to have a good time. We appreciate everybody, and as always, we appreciate you, Hattiesburg Tiger head coach Tony Vance. Thanks for being with us.
And thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
Well, go ahead and give us our update on what's going on around Hattiesburg athletics.
Sure. Have a volleyball game going on against our crosstown rival as we speak. They're getting ready to start as I left the gym against West Hattiesburg.
Hattiesburg.
Yeah, so our girls going to play Oak Grove girls in volleyball. Our cross-country team, they still running.
Still running.
And, yep. So
they never stop.
No, they just run, man.
They just run.
So, so excited about those. Getting ready to kick off later on not this month, but in October, basketball and our winter sports will be kicking off. So just finding ways to stay busy, man. Yep.
Well,
middle school football is finally kicked off, so they've got 2 games under their belt now. So just staying busy.
It's good to stay busy. I mean, we thought for a little while we might not be able to. So being able to stay busy is a good thing.
No doubt. Now, I always keep that in perspective when I talk to people, man. We're just fortunate to be able to be playing. So this
is Miss Rowe right here.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
She's one of the managers here at Walk-Ons, and they treat us great.
They do.
She knows what Coach Vance wants to drink. She brings it to him, and they treat us awesome. So
no doubt.
They do a good job. So we introduced you, I know you guys have seen him before, but we talked to Deuce Vance the other night on the show, and we may have jinxed him a little bit. He injured his ankle in one of the football games, I guess Thursday night.
Last Thursday. Yeah.
So we may have jinxed him. He's here on crutches, but he is here. He's always here. So
he's here, man. He's suffered a broken ankle, so he's out for the season. But fortunately and blessedly, he doesn't have to have surgery on it. So but he's a tough cookie. So he'll bounce back even bigger and stronger than ever. So
he'll be all right. He crawled up these steps a while ago. He's going to make it. He's going to make it. So a little bit of cooler weather, Coach. The weather's been nice. Today was beautiful. Has that been better at practice? Give you a little more energy?
I'm telling you, it's just been beautiful weather. I mean, it's almost football season, You feel like fall, you think cool weather, but yesterday it actually got a little cold.
Yeah.
At practice toward the end, but today was just a beautiful day.
Absolutely. So, today was – I just know when I was a kid – when I was playing, anyway, whenever it was cooler weather, you almost everybody had a little more energy. It popped a little more, and everybody just seemed to be able to go a little bit longer.
No doubt. So I think that's one of the things our kids are really enjoying the cool weather, and, it's not nearly as hot. So, they can practice a little bit, I feel like a little bit better and have a little more energy and excitement about practice.
Well, Alexis Berry says she misses you, Coach.
Hey, Alexis.
She misses you, and we encourage you to leave us messages, comment, ask questions. We'll answer those questions. Coach Vance will answer them. I don't have any for me, but comment. Let us know you're watching, and we're a little off schedule tonight, but our special guest just arrived, and he's got places to be and things to do. So we're gonna bump Coach Vance off of here for just a minute, and we're gonna have our special guest, Hattiesburg Mayor Toby Barker, come up. So we're gonna take a little break, little advertisement for Walk-Ons Bistro and Bar. Takes good care of us. And when we come back, we'll have Hattiesburg Mayor Toby Barker. So stay with us.
Bar, where every dish starts from scratch. Fresh ingredients bring our food to life. Mouth-watering cuisine, unique flavors. And we're always more than happy to share our Southern charm and culture. A love of life, family, food, friends, fun, and celebrations. Walk-Ons. It's game day with a taste of Louisiana.
This is a walk-on athlete. They push harder and put their heart into the game. This is the passion we're built on. It's why we put our heart into creating game day with a taste of Louisiana. Walk-Ons, we live for this.
All right, guys, you know what time it is. We're going to have a good shift. Make some noise! Hoo-wee! Look for walk-ons near you. And remember, everyone needs a little playing time.
The first time I ever walked into a walk-ons, I looked around and I said, if I were ever to create my own sports bar, it would be just like this. The greatest thing you can do in life is be a part of a team, and that is certainly what we've tried to build here at Walk-Ons. And it's the way that we start our day, it's the way that we end our day, and everything in between.
Walk-ons on three! 1, 2, 3! Walk-ons!
Walk-Ons, because everyone needs a little playing time.
Of Tiger Talk. We're a little off schedule here, but that's okay because we got a special guest with us tonight, Hattiesburg Mayor Toby Barker. Thanks for being with us.
Glad to be here. Sorry I threw your schedule off.
Well, hey, that's all right. For certain people, we make accommodations. So I know you are very busy, and there's stuff going on tonight that's got to be tended to, and I completely understand. So we just appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your schedule to come in and be with us. Well, let's start off. We're going to talk about Hattiesburg here in just a little bit, but let's talk about the Tigers first. You're a regular at D.I. Patrick Stadium on Friday nights. You've been a huge supporter of all Tiger athletics. And so, I mean, how do you feel, why is that? And then how do you feel the Tigers and the athletic programs at the high school and the high school in general affect the city?
Well, I think the answer is kind of one and the same. I think that the mood of a city is dictated by its high school, and particularly how its high school performs on the field. And I remember, we had a couple magical seasons there, and in a time when we really needed that to happen. And so, last year we had some challenges, a young team. But this year, particularly with COVID, particularly with how much our city has gone through, and when you consider the number of people who have been sick, when you consider that we've lost over 100 lives in our community, and when you consider the hard but yet responsible decisions that our school district and our football coach made to protect players and their families, and then you consider just how much our players have stepped up, it is nothing short of remarkable what this team has accomplished. A very young team in a short amount of time, and I think the community is really starting to be uplifted by what they're seeing on the field, starting with the Little Brown Jug game.
Yeah, we're going to get to that one in just a minute. We're going to get. I saw you joking. Not to cut you off. I saw you joking with Coach Vance. What is kind of y'all's relationship? I know you talk. He's AD. I know you see each other at all these different events and things like that. But you guys seem to kind of have a pretty good relationship.
Well, I think there's no better mentor that our young men could have than Coach Vance. I think our athletic program as a whole is coalescing around a common vision now. And I think that the relationship the city and the school district have has never been tighter, and I attribute that a lot to Coach Vance, mainly because he comes in budget time and asks for money, and we just say yes. But there is I think the mood of a city, the morale of a city is directly tied to its high school and its athletic programs, as well as its academic achievements, and I have been nothing but pleased about the product, not only on the field, but also the type of individuals that are coming out of his program as men. And so that's exciting too.
Yeah, and I know Coach Vance gets his kids out, and they come to your work days, your city work days, and things like that, your cleanup days, and I think that's huge that he encourages them, if not requires them, to do those types of things.
Well, and he had a reputation when he was first hired here. The state representative, my colleague at the time, Tommy Reynolds, that represents Charleston, told us we were getting a very good coach, and that he has surpassed all expectations.
So he couldn't come here and phone it in. He had to come. He had a reputation.
He had a bar that he had to meet.
Preceded him.
So,
well, let's talk about that Jug game, because that's one of the biggest games of the year. That's not a region game for this area. Not just this city, but this whole area, South Mississippi, the longest running or the longest continuously played rivalry game in the state. And you and Mayor McGee of Laurel do a little trash talking every year.
We do, and last year we kind of knew how it might go, so I was kind of toning it down a little bit. but this year we just decided, hey, we're going to go all out because both our cities need this, and so I drafted the letter the game day, and my assistant called his office and said, "Got an emergency fax for you," and so we sent it and then posted it, and of course he responded in very, very fine fashion. Great comeback. So I was hoping to be at the game so we could take a picture afterward, but I wouldn't have come to that either if I were him.
That's right.
But I can't wait to next year to be the 100th game, and we've already got some epic ideas for videos right now that we're already planning. And so Mayor McGee is awesome, and he has done so much for that downtown and so much for the city. And we have a good time with it.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, probably not, but I actually grew up in Laurel. I'm
sorry.
I know. I'm a Laurel guy.
Hey, you made it out though, man.
I know. I went to West Jones High School, but I got my dad back here. He's Laurel High grad, so he's really a Laurel guy. But
I'm just kidding. I have lots of friends in Laurel, so.
Mayor McGee kind of sometimes is a friend of yours, but yeah, I mean, what he, like you said, for the downtown area, the old area down there that has tons of potential. They've done a good job of really building that up.
They really have, and you know, from the TV show and the Prince Signs that does all the paintings on their sign. Just they've really put a good package together. Got a great new music venue down there, and so it's a lot. It's a good competitive relationship. We found out they were going to drop a pine cone New Year's Eve, so we got to have more people than Laurel, and we did. But they do so many things well that really challenges us to be better as well, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I even wanted to call the hometown folks and ask if they could build a special room for our little brown jug. See if they would take us on as a client.
Yeah, I mean, they'd have to build it down here because this is where it stays.
Exactly.
But its preferred location is what you said in the letter. And you had to throw the letter out there because this may be your only opportunity to use that, the COVID and the sterilizing avenue or angle there. So you had to throw that out there. I saw you, though, after that game, go down there and hug Coach Vance, and I was kind of wondering if that was a, hey, thanks for not making me look like a dummy.
No, it was an emotional moment. I mean, because we were very much the underdog going into that game. And I knew the decisions that he and Dr. Williams had made that probably kept our folks off the training field for quite a while, but they did it with the health and safety of our players and their families in mind. And so to see our team respond like that, to see even coach above what he has already been doing, it was an emotional moment, very poignant moment for our city that we needed at the exact time that it happened. Absolutely.
It was a huge night for Hattiesburg, high school and athletics, but the city as well. And you're right, that was a big deal. I want to talk kind of off of that. I want to talk about the lights. The lights in town that change colors. Kind of tell people what that is that don't know, and then where that idea came from.
Well, we invested in the string lights because a lot of downtowns had done it, and we thought it would go really well in our city. We add to it every year, and they gave me this remote control where it could change colors, and I said, well, you're going to regret giving me this remote. And so I just thought it would be neat to establish some traditions early on that we could spotlight a holiday, or if we have a fallen officer, we could turn them blue. We lost an EMS a few weeks ago, Mac McCann. We turned them white, but the goal now is every time Hattiesburg High wins a game, we're going to turn them purple and gold downtown. And as we add more lights throughout our city, we want to do the same thing. And then as Southern Miss wins, we try to turn them gold, and haven't turned them gold yet this year.
Well, that's coming.
And so the goal is again just trying to create attachment between a community and its local school. And I realize we have three or four high schools in our area, but it's that Hattiesburg Public School that bears its name. I think it's important to create that identity, particularly when so many of our citizens are not from here, and who probably went to, like I went to a different high school, and but say, hey, you're here now, you're home, you're part of this, and we root for the Tigers.
Absolutely, and I think it's great. I think it's a really cool tradition that I don't know that many other cities, if any other cities, do something like that. So I think it's really cool that you guys do that.
I really want to thank our electrician Skip, who drives down. They took my remote away because I broke them, but Skip drives down every Friday from his home to turn them purple and gold. I will say, he gave me a little scare this last Friday though, because third quarter I said, yeah, come on, and then it got a little tight there at the end.
They got within 8 there at the end,
but it worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how long do they stay a color? I don't know how long you do that.
Usually a couple of days.
Okay. Okay. All right. So it's not just overnight.
And if Southern Miss would have won Saturday, we would have come and changed them that night. But it's the weekend. We don't want to call personnel out if we don't have to. So either I'll go or Skip will come down and do it. So.
Yeah. So let's talk about you and the city for a little bit. You've been in office for a little over 3 years now. What are some of the things that you're most proud of during that time? We'll get to the things you want to still work on, but what are some of the things that you're most proud of accomplishing during that time?
I think that first and foremost, the school bond issue and the 1 cent election, where knowing 5 years ago our school district almost kind of went under financially, and to have Dr. Williams kind of bring us back, but also to have our citizens who could have held some past mistakes against the children, and they didn't. They saw the big picture, and 94% voted to extend that bond another 20 years. Then they came back a year later and we said, hey, we want to do this 1 cent Parks and Rec that can invest in our children again and invest in our university, and 81% did that again. And so I think we have a very forward-thinking community when you are transparent and you lay the vision out. I think the second thing that I'm probably proudest of is correcting the financial issues. And we still have some things out there that we're continuing to deal with, but the fact that we've brought the first balanced budget in 10 years, we have our bond rating back, we're back up to date in audits, it's a tremendous accomplishment that a lot of people, city council, administrators, all of our contractors worked really hard to do, and the future of Hattiesburg is very bright.
Yeah, we spoke with Councilman George, Jeffrey George, at the game the other night too. You guys were both there, and he mentioned the first balanced budget in
10 years.
10 years. That's quite an accomplishment.
It is.
And I know when we spoke, we had you on Tiger Talk a year before last, and you talked about the budget, and you talked about how it was coming along and that kind of thing, and getting to where you wanted it to be. And, I mean, now a balanced budget's a big deal.
It is. And it helps us as we go forward to know that, we're going to put a certain number into reserves every year. And so when we encounter an economic crisis like we did earlier this spring, where it was very clear sales tax were not going to meet projection, you don't have to make those hard choices because you have some reserves waiting there. And that's one thing that we haven't been able to do in any organized fashion for a long time. And, it's been a good thing.
So on the flip side of that, I know that there are things that you still want to work toward. What are a couple of things that maybe you would like to see happen, you would like to accomplish here coming up?
So I think the thing that we're sort of most excited about, but it's a long-term project, is getting the 2 grants for the 2 overpasses. For generations, people have complained about the trains in downtown, and there are certain neighborhoods that are completely cut off from first responders because when there's a train across the tracks. Right. And so to get the Chrissy grant, $5.6 million in February, and then to come back in September and get a $13 million build grant, the only big one in Mississippi that we received, it bodes well for us to fix that train issue once and for all, but also to really set that area of town up for economic growth, because you have a $30 million police station right there at Edwards and Hall. You have, 25 million combined in these 2 overpasses. You're going to upgrade the road between them so it's good for the neighborhood. You're going to provide walkability, and so everyone wins with this. And then in downtown, you finally are able to get to where you want to go, and so a lot of people did a lot of work on this, and I'm certainly grateful to our congressional delegation for pushing that across the finish line, particularly Senator Wicker, and so that's a big thing. The other thing is just I love a good project. I mean, I love seeing streets paved. I love all the public art that's going on in our city right now. I love new sidewalks going in because, we need them. And once we get out of COVID, we're going to start pushing these educational initiatives and we can get back in person. So there's a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely. And talking about downtown and getting, walkability and getting everything, there for growth. We just talked about what Laurel did, or what Laurel is doing, and that's kind of something that you would like to see happen here, is turn it into kind of an epicenter for people to go and enjoy and that kind of thing, and making it easily accessible is the first step to that.
Absolutely.
So you do these, I guess you do them almost daily, the COVID updates. You do the updates, the videos on Facebook. Where do we stand now? And then how has the virus affected some of the things? Well, just tell us where we stand now as far as COVID goes.
So right now, and we do Facebook briefings Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays usually, and then we try to do an Instagram quick update Tuesdays and Thursdays. Right now, we had a big spike in July, and then we've spent most of August and half of September coming down. And a week ago, I would have told you we're in great shape, but we've had about 5 or 6 days now in a row where we've had higher than normal increases. That's concerning. We've lost 6 people over the weekend. That's concerning. And what we don't want is October to turn into another July, because the weather's getting good. We want to get out. We want to see some of the Halloween things happen this year, even though we certainly won't have the parade. But maybe see trick-or-treating happen. But we can't do those things if we don't make good decisions now. And that's why we really push wearing masks, socially distancing yourself, avoiding large crowds. And it's the sum of those individual and collective decisions that will dictate whether the things that we want to do happen. And I can't tell you just how many heartbreaking stories that we've seen over the past 6 months of people passing on to someone else, and it's hit very close to our city family. And I know everyone out here probably listening knows someone that's seen tragedy because of this pandemic. And so I just really encourage people to do the right thing and just make good decisions.
Yeah, everybody wants to get back to normal. Everybody's tired of what we're doing, including you, and everybody. But we have to be smart about it.
And I think the truth is that I think we're in mask for several more months, several more months, but we can find a functional normal if we will just make wise decisions. So
yeah, well, first of all, this wasn't a question I wrote down, and you can tell me you don't want to answer it if you want, or you don't know the answer if you want. But how has that the virus affected businesses, small businesses, and that kind of thing in the city?
I think for most everyone saw a disruption, particularly in retail and restaurants early in this pandemic. A lot of restaurants are still at 50% capacity, maybe a little more. I know when we saw the big spike in July, we had to pull dining to 10 p.m. And then we've gone to midnight now. But bars our city thrives on a good entertainment industry.
Yes.
But we've had to pull some of that back because at a certain time of night, you're not going out to eat for sustenance. You're going to be entertained, and you're a little less responsible with your behavior. And we have to kind of put limits on that. And we've also been told by the state health officer that if these college towns start seeing big increases, he's going to recommend to send all the students home for the semester. And that would wreck our economy, and we don't want that. And so, again, it all comes down to individual and collective decisions. We're all sacrificing through this. There's a lot of businesses who have borne the brunt of not only the pandemic, but of the subsequent decisions that we've done to try and alleviate that. And, we're just all going to have to try to get through this together.
Yeah, there's no right answer. There's no easy answer.
Not right now.
You're right, and so we're just, like you said, trying to get through it together. I know there are a lot of things that you like to do as far as mingling with residents of the city and getting out and being seen and going places and doing things. How has this affected that kind of stuff?
Well, you really can't anymore. I will say this, though, that we've tried to, especially during the census, getting out and knocking on doors. Please fill out your census form, which, by the way, you have one more day to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to get to that, too.
But, town hall meetings have kind of stopped. We've done a few Zoom meetings, but a lot of that has ceased. But you try to, that's why we do the briefings, too, is so that people can still hear how it's going and hopefully find a little hope in the progress that is happening in our city.
Yeah, so the next thing that I had written down was the budget, which we've already talked about, and the census. So tell people how important that is and how and the timeline. You said they got one more day.
The funding for everything from schools to roads to public safety to public health all comes from what number we report for the census. If you want more retail, if you want a Whataburger, if you want a Topgolf or whatever it is,
I would like a Whataburger.
If you want, they look at what your population is. And it's so important that your information is constitutionally protected. If you have outstanding debts or if you have an outstanding warrant, it's okay. You can still fill out your census form and nothing's going to happen to you. So HattiesburgCounts.com. We have one more day to do it, unless it's extended. But right now we have 1 day left. And our self-response rate, while it is higher than 10 years ago, it could be a lot better. And so we hope that people will take this last opportunity to do that.
Well, right, and it's super important. And like you said, they just want to know that you're here. They don't care what you did, or they're not going to come arrest you. They just want to know where you are, that you're here, and how many people are here. And like I said, I would like a Whataburger. So please fill out your census. I know you got a few paving projects going on. I know I'm keeping you a while. I'm going to get you out of here in just a minute. Paving projects and that kind of thing. What are couple projects going on right now?
Well, we just finished North 38th Avenue, which is on the western edge of Southern Miss campus, and that was Councilman George's big project for his first term. And we got an 80% match from the federal government to do that project. And so you now have 2 lanes. You have a landscape median. You have a sidewalk on the side. You got lighting. It's very nice. Looking forward to Country Club Road happening next with a concept like that, which will have an 8-foot sidewalk as well as curb and gutter that road hasn't had. And so we're trying to make sure that every neighborhood sees progress. We've got several water replacement projects going on right now, one in East Jerusalem, one in Audubon Westwood, one in Shadowwood. But we're about to turn the calendar over, and we will start a whole new $2.7 million paving slot. We're hoping that we had kind of some of the worst roads in the region maybe 3 years ago, and about 3 more years we're going to have some of the best roads, because the council's really helped us prioritize that. And then you're going to see Hardy Street from 21st Avenue East paved in the next 5 months, which will be good.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to leverage every dollar to keep making progress.
Like you said, you love a good project. So
I do love a good project.
We'll pave all the roads around here. Last couple things. What are some of the things that we always ask what you can do for us? What are some of the things that the city can do to continue progress?
Well, I mean, I think citizens right now have said, first and foremost, the most important thing you can do is fill out your census this year. I think voting this November, engaging the process, making your voice heard, registering to vote if you haven't, and then just do those daily things that can keep us all safe and keep progress going. You know, wearing a mask, not getting in large crowds. The more wise decisions we make individually, the sooner we can find that functional normal as we wait for a vaccine to hope we beat this thing in the next year. And so if people will just do those, we're going to be okay. And then finally, just being kind. Yeah. I realize it's a stressful time, and there are days when I am mentally and emotionally exhausted as well, and as I'm sure everyone in the city is. But we've got to continue just being kind and believing this. We're going to get through this, and because we will. And there's no better place you want to live than Hattiesburg, Mississippi right now, especially when we come out of this thing. Absolutely,
and you sign off on all of your COVID updates by saying take care of yourself physically and mentally, and that's huge. Like you said, physical part, yeah, we're wearing the mask, we're doing the things, but it is a very mentally trying time as well, emotionally.
And we've had a few tragedies. We've had some people that have taken their own life in the last few months, and those deaths weigh on you as much as the COVID ones, and I think it's incumbent on people to grieve this when they need to, because it's okay. It's not normal. Mm-hmm. None of us have gone through this before. It's okay to not be okay, and then to also just check on friends and neighbors, and it's a long process. It's certainly testing all of us.
Absolutely. Last thing, how can people get in touch with you, your office, for
Sure.
Questions, concerns, that kind of thing?
Yes, 601-545-4501. It's 545-4501. And I believe that the city of Hattiesburg or myself on every social media channel you can find. And we get tagged in most everything. So people should have no issue getting in touch with us.
And catch the COVID updates. You said Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Facebook.
And then Tuesday, Thursday on Instagram. It's Mayor Toby Barker on Instagram. And we try to make it quick.
Yeah, he gives you city updates, things that are going on, like the construction projects, the census, and then he lays out all the COVID numbers for you with graphs and charts and everything you could possibly want. Mayor Barker, man, we appreciate you. We appreciate you being here. I know I kept you long, but and it was important. I think that people needed to hear everything that you said. We're here at Walk-Ons. Grab you some food. I don't know how often you eat here, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. So we really appreciate you being here, and look forward to you coming back soon.
Hey, thank you and Jerome for what you do on Friday nights, and Go Tigers are going to beat Pascagoula this week.
Absolutely. We're going to beat the Pascagoula Panthers down there. Thanks, sir. We'll be right back. We got some highlights from the Wayne County game this past Friday, and we'll be back with Coach Vance to talk about that game and then talk about next week's game or this week's game with Pascagoula. Stick with us. All right, Tiger Nation, we are back here once again with head coach and athletic director Tony Vance. We put you to the side for a minute, Coach.
No problem.
How you feel about that? You all right with that?
Oh, I'm perfectly okay with that.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll jump right in now.
Not every head football coach in the state has a relationship with their mayor the way I have one with mine. So
you're right, and I got his view on that. But what's your opinion on the relationship that you guys have?
I think it's probably unique, sense, but, he's always been a guy that's been there to support and just do whatever he could to help our athletic program, our football program, and, our school district in general. So, it's genuine when you see Toby. It's genuine. There's nothing, fictitious or made up. He's a genuine human being, and, I think what you see is what you get. So just, proud of our relationship and the partnership we have with the city of Hattiesburg.
Well, when I said
Public School District.
Yeah, when I said he's a regular at D.I. Patrick, I mean he is. He's got his seat, and his seat is right there in front of where Jerome and I call the game from, and he's right there, and Councilman George too. I mean they're always there.
Toby started, even before he became mayor, he was at games, and I kind of knew who he was, and not sure if he knew who I was, but just started to see him at a lot of our games and basketball games and volleyball games, and just started to know kind of who he was and build a relationship with him, and just thankful for a relationship. So
he has an extremely busy schedule, so for him to take time out of it to come to all these athletic events, you know that it's important to him. So we do, again, appreciate Mayor Barker coming on. So let's talk about last week. Wayne County, pretty convincing win. It was 20-10, but a pretty convincing win optically, the way you look at it. They got within 8 late. But never really looked close from, I'm sure it did from your angle, but to us, it never really looked close. And we got to start on the defensive side of the ball. Your defensive line dominated the offensive line of Wayne County.
Yeah, I thought those guys played extremely hard up there. We were able to rotate some guys in and out and get some fresh bodies in there. And that's one of the things we've tried to thrive on in practice the last few weeks is competition, and I've told guys, hey, if you're not playing hard, I'm going to sub you out. It's not going to be your position coach. It's going to be me that sub you out. If I'm watching the game and I'm looking and you're not, I don't feel like you're giving us everything you got. You must be tired. So I'm going to sub you out and get a fresh body in there, and you get ready to go and play hard. Come let me know. We're going to put you back in. And so that seemed to motivate some of them. And, but that's the name of the game. We got to get out there and we got to play hard. We don't have a chance if we don't play hard. But, if we'll play hard, we've got a chance.
Well, they did. They did. They played great up there. Tobias Hinton, Malik, all those guys up there did a great job. And as far as defensive stats, I saw John threw them up there just a minute ago. Gave up 137 total yards on the night. 10 points. Gave up 90 yards rushing, 47 passing, 2 interceptions, fumble recovery, and then a late safety.
That's a recipe to win.
Yeah, you don't lose many games doing that. Their quarterback seemed a little hesitant from the start. Now he ended up leaving the game with an injury. That was Chafin. He seemed a little hesitant from the start. Do you think that had? I assume it had something to do with the way you guys were coming after him.
Well, we always want to put pressure on the quarterback, regardless of who we're playing and who it is. We just know that's the key guy in any offense. If we can put pressure on the quarterback, and if he's running the ball, if you can hit him when he's running the ball and put some things on his mind, always helps defensively. So, but hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, and then when they put the other guy in, the kid that they put in after that was a sophomore, Holyfield. I thought he did okay, but then again, you guys were all over him.
I think the biggest thing anybody tell you when your starting quarterback goes down, you always you're fortunate when you got another guy can go in, you don't miss a beat. But not many high schools, even NFL teams are able to lose the number one guy, number two. Unless you
got Teddy Bridgewater.
Nick Foles.
Or Nick Foles, yeah.
So, yeah.
And then just an opinion of mine, I don't think they gave the ball to Wally enough, too. They kept feeding 7, and the only one that they had success with was 2. And I don't think they gave him the ball enough.
Well, they gave enough for him.
Enough
they
for
gave to him
you.
Enough for me.
Yeah.
Because every time they gave it to him, I was like, oh, Lord.
Yeah.
But he definitely was, he was, in my opinion, last Friday night, he was the guy I didn't want to have the ball.
Right. And me too. And that's what I was saying on the broadcast. I was like, I'm okay with the way they're doing it. But if I were them, I'd feed 2.
Yeah.
And they kind of figured it out toward the end. But then they got away from it again, and it was kind of surprising to me. But we'll take it.
No doubt.
So on offense, you were pretty balanced yardage-wise. 137 on the ground, 117 through the air. Jaquez Andrews was your leading rusher, 19 for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. Talk about Jaquez there for a minute.
Well, Jaquez, he's a guy that we've called on to go both ways, and he started both ways last 2 weeks, offensively and defensively. Last Friday, we gave him a blow offensively starting. So, but it wasn't long before he was in the ball game. But he's our bell cow. He's a guy that we're gonna count on to do multiple things for us each week. Whether it's running the ball or over there playing defense somewhere. He's one of those guys defensively. We just move around and put him where we think he can affect the ball game. And that's kind of what we tell him, hey, go out there and affect the game. And so we try to put him in a position where he can affect the game from a defensive standpoint. But he's one of several guys we've asked to go both ways over the last few weeks, and that's kind of what I told our team. Hey, we're going to ask several of you guys to play both sides of the ball, and so you've got to condition your minds, your bodies to be able to do it.
And he did. He flew around defensively, probably better than I've seen him do this year. Just kind of flying around, making plays, and I think some of that comes from having success on the defensive side. Right. You get a little more energy over there. You get. Yep. But you're right. We noticed on the broadcast that Ellis Brown got some more playing time. He's kind of gotten a little more every week.
Yeah, he's getting more comfortable in what we're doing, so that helps.
Yeah, he's transferred from North Forest. He just has gotten more and more carries every week and looks better and better. Like you said, getting a little more comfortable. Jordan Willis was 11 for 28, 117 yards and a touchdown. Leading receiver was Walton Thompson, 4 for 23. And then you had the 54-yard touchdown from Jamel Ford. I thought Jordan looked decent. He seems to continue to get more comfortable.
Yeah, and he's a guy that, truth be told, he hadn't been 100% healthy, but he's battled through it. He's not a complainer, and he's a guy that truly understands what we're trying to do offensively. And, so we just try to continue to work with him and get him ready to go and put a game plan in that we feel like, he can carry out.
Yeah, he missed the first game and then kind of played sporadically the second game. So you're right. I mean, he's missed some time. He's had to work his way back, but I think that he's kind of getting in a groove. His passes look sharper. Yeah. His decisions look a lot better. And with the running game that you have, he's just got to be okay.
Yeah, and that's why I tell people, we're a type team that we're going to have to win some ugly ball games, but I'll take an ugly win over a pretty loss any day of the week.
Yeah, yeah, and another guy that played both ways and was gassed at the end of the game was Walton Thompson, but had a couple of big catches for you.
He did. Walt's one of those guys that he's got great hands, and he's got some sweet feet, And, he's a guy that we've called on, him, Josh Jones, to line up a receiver and line up in the secondary. And so it's a lot of running on those guys. So, we try to spell them when we can on the offensive side of the ball and, ask them, hey, let's go on defense. We're going to hang our hat on our defense. And, offensively, we're going to try to, help our defense out as much as we can and get some first downs and, hopefully get some points on the board.
Yeah, I know you were really proud of those guys after the game, especially Jordan. I thought, and I think it was pretty obvious, not just me thinking, but I think that the game really turned. So they scored first. They kicked the field goal first. But I think that the real turning point in the game was the fourth down pass out to Joshua Jones.
Let me tell you,
on the sideline. I didn't know if you wanted to go there.
Yeah, but that particular play, and I told Deuce, he broke his ankle Thursday night, and we took him to the doctor Friday morning. And he's been my ball boy for a long time now. And he understands, a lot of people don't know this, but he understands punting situations, what ball we need to have in the game and so forth. A lot of people, there's no such thing as a kicking ball. Maybe not, but we do have a kicking ball.
Don't give away your secrets, Coach.
I'm not, but anyway, I looked up, and it was 4th and 9, and we had called a passing play, and Jordan looked, and he said, Coach, it's the wrong ball. And I looked out there, and it was our kicking ball. And I tried to sub in a ball, and that maybe when you said spike on the sideline came from.
Yeah, that was when we were talking about you being upset about the ball, but we didn't know why.
So I looked out there, and we had the kicking ball in, and the official wouldn't let me sub it in, and I wasn't real happy with that. But I say, man, you just got to make a play, and that ball, that kicking ball ain't real easy to grip and throw. And on 4th and 9, he sprinted out there, man, and he threw a dime, and, that was one of the biggest plays in the game. And and there was some other plays that, he wished he could have back, some throws he wished he could have back. But that one right there was probably one of the biggest in the game, and he made a throw in a difficult situation with not the ideal football.
Right,
and completed it. So, those little things that most people don't know about. And, just a pass. It wasn't just a pass.
There was a lot to it, and the offense had kind of gotten stagnant there. The whole game had kind of gotten stagnant there, and he throws that pass. Joshua Jones does a great toe tap on the sideline, and the next play you handed Jaquez Andrews, and the next play you're in the end zone. So, it was a turning point, and then you guys never looked back from there, really. And I thought that was a huge turning point in the game. And then to hear you tell that story, like I said, I didn't know if you want to tell it here or not, but I'm glad you did. But to hear you tell me that story after the game made it even more impressive, just on his part. And
no, we're still offensively, we're still searching for identity. We hadn't quite found it yet. We're trying to find ways again to just put points on the board and get first downs, and that's huge for us. Let's get first downs, and that's kind of our, mentality. Hey, let's just get the first down. Let's get the first down, and eventually we'll end up in the end zone. So we just try to go out there and take it one first down at a time.
I thought you guys did a better job of staying ahead of the chain, staying on schedule this week.
That was a lot better. It was, and when we did have to punt, Matt Adams was awesome.
Yeah,
he did an outstanding job punting the football and flipping the field for us, and he set up that safety, that pretty much sealed the game, put us up, and with that safety there at the end, that was pretty much set up by his punt. And we were able to down inside the 5, maybe inside the 2, and get a safety, a play or two later.
Oh, that was inside the 1, Coach. It was about this far from the goal line.
Well, I couldn't tell from where I was, so but I knew it was pretty close.
Yeah,
but, great job.
That was his safety. He gets credit for that one.
Great job punting the ball, and kudos to our punt team. They did a great job getting down there, covering the kick.
A couple of times. There was more than one that he did that with.
There was one that I know was a 55-yarder that they down there pretty good. And so, I thought special teams were really good last week. We had some really good punt returns. Didn't have an opportunity for kickoff returns. The guy was really good. He put it in the back of the end zone almost every time. But, I thought punt returns were really good. Had some opportunities there. So,
Coach, you can only tell me so many times that recovering that sky kick is not in the playbook.
Every week it's in the playbook,
and you keep doing it. Eventually, I'm just going to assume that you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah, we really did do it on purpose this time. So we just found the guy we felt like we'd have an advantage if we could get him to try to field it.
Yeah,
so,
Well, it worked out.
Yeah.
it's. I think that it's happened in every game. Maybe not the Oak Grove game, but I think that it's happened in every game so far.
I think you're right.
It's been a real. We talked about it. It's been a real weapon.
One thing we do, we spend a lot of time on special teams. Yeah. That's not something we just glance over. We spend a lot of time working on our special teams.
Again, we talked about Matt Adams, and he's It's weird we're talking about the punter every week, but he's doing such a great job of flipping the field, and that's huge. You know, that's those numbers that you don't see. I think John said he averaged 44 yards per punt, John. Huh? Oh, 47. I thought you were saying 52. 47 yards per punt Friday night. So that's pretty good.
That's those hidden yardage
yes.
that, you know, people don't know. But those are hidden yardage, man. And anytime you can punt the ball down the field and flip it, or if you can field a punt and keep it from rolling, those are hidden yardage.
So last thing on last week's game before we move on, 3-1, 1-0 in the region. How do you feel about where you are right now?
Well, obviously still not where we want to be. You know, I think we've got a lot of room for growth. But, you know, the trick is just get better each and every week, you know, and just continue to keep our guys competing and playing hard and, you know, giving us a chance. And you know, that's the fun part. You know, if you guys go out there and compete and play hard, we're going to have a chance to win games. So that's the fun part. Just continue to go to practice every day and watch those guys get better each and every week. And, you know, I think if they'll continue to grow and listen and do things that we're asking them to do, you know, we'll be where we want to be by the end of the year.
Yeah, considering the competition that you've played, can't complain too much about being 3-1 at the moment.
Well, you know, I was telling somebody over the weekend, I said, last year's time we were 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, obviously we were happy to be 3-1
with a lot of these same guys. So you just see the growth and you see the maturity. So moving on, go down the road this week, back on the road, going down to Pascagoula to take on the Panthers. Bye, guys. My family heading out. Landon, Jackson, everybody. See y'all later. Go down to Pascagoula, take on the Panthers. They're 2-2, coming into this one off of their first region win as well. So they're 1-0 in the region, coming off a 37-8 victory over the Pro River Central Blue Devils. This game, I just kind of threw this in there as an interesting stat. This was the game last year. They beat us. We had the momentum. I think we blocked the field goal, and then the floods came.
Yeah, like a 2-3 hour rain delay.
We didn't start back till about 10-something, and this game ended around midnight. So this was the game. They beat us last year in that, and that was just such a weird game because we had the momentum when the rain came, and then when we came back out, it was a completely different deal.
Yeah, came out flat, man, and just, you know, they got some momentum going, and they were able to, you know, take the victory. So hats off to their coaching staff and their players for, you know, won it last year. So obviously it's a game this year that, you know, we feel like we got to go down there and nobody's going to give it to us. We got to go take it. So, you know, obviously it's the next game on the schedule, so it's the most important game of the year.
We've talked, I know Coach Lewis Sims was their coach last year. I think we talked about Coach Sims a little bit last year before that game. You have some type of relationship with Coach Sims?
Yeah. You know, Coach Sims, obviously before Pascagoula moved up to 6A and came back down, he was the chair of our region football district, so got to know him then. But we were able to coach in the Miss Al game together a couple of years ago, and he was the defensive coordinator, I was the offensive coordinator, so we spent a lot of time together talking ball and just getting to know each other. And he's a great guy, you know. He, you know, played at the Naval Academy, and so he loves Navy football.
Yep.
And just, you know, but awesome guy, does a great job. He's an English teacher. So he teaches senior English. He loves it. He said, Coach, I love teaching English.
I remember all this now. As you're saying it, I remember. I knew we had a conversation about him, but I'm remembering now.
But, you know, good friend of mine, and, you know, he does a great job.
Good. So what have you seen? I know 10 is the guy.
Yeah,
10 is their quarterback. That's Parnell. He's a sophomore. And then they got 32 as a running back. That's Barnes. What have you seen from their offense? And then those obviously are a couple of players to watch.
You know, they're pretty much going to be a spread team, but they will get in the I formation or heavy run sets, you know, whatever they need to do to win games and to get first downs and, you know, short yardage. But, you know, predominantly they're a spread team that's going to spread you out and try to run the quarterback. That's what they want to do. He's their probably, you know, most prolific guy. He's their spark plug, and he's a guy, he ain't real big at all, but he can sure enough run. So he's a guy that makes them go.
What about through the air? How is he as a passer?
You know, he's a guy that, you know, I don't think he's going to pass for 300 yards in a game, you know, but at the same time, you know, I think he's a guy that's capable of throwing the football and completing it to his receivers, especially if you fall asleep. They will have some trickeration in the offense and, you know, some type of reverse pass, double pass, and all those things. So we can't give up cheap plays in the passing games. Those plays I refer to as cheap plays, and so we don't want to give up cheap plays in the passing game.
Yeah, so that's Keelan Parnell we talked about. He's 5'10", 170. You said he wasn't a big guy, so I wanted to look up his actual size. He's 5'10", 170.
He don't look 5'10", 170.
He doesn't?
No, he looks more like 5'7", 160, 155 or something. But
well, you know how you coaches inflate. You inflate this stuff. And then 32 is Kayvon Barnes. He's a senior. He's their running back. Yeah. And I assume he's kind of the opposite of.
He's a bigger guy, and he runs extremely hard. But they've got some guys, man, on both sides of the ball. When you pop the film on, they jump out at you, and that's kind of what I do as a head coach when I pop it in. Who are those 3-4 guys on offense? Who are those 3 or 4 guys on defense that just jump off the screen at you? And they certainly have a few on the defense side of the ball also.
Well, last week we talked about the 3-4 defense. This week we'll go on the offensive side. Kind of explain what you said. They're a spread team. Kind of explain what a spread team is.
So for the most part, they're going to be in the shotgun formation with one back, 10 personnel we call it, and 2 receivers on either side, or they may have trips or 3 on one side and 1 on the other side. So that's pretty much their main formation or personnel they like to operate out of. They will give you some, 11 personnel with a tight end or H-back. But, for the most part, they're going to stay in the shotgun. They're probably 90% of the time they're in the shotgun running some type of spread. And the term spread basically generates when they spread your defense out. Mm-hmm. Everybody's not playing in the box. And, you can watch us play JDC, and we got 22 guys in the picture right there. But they're going to spread you out. They're going to make you play from sideline to sideline. So your corner's not going to be in there on top of the hash. He's going to be out there bottom of the numbers. So they're going to spread you out. So that's the term spread offense.
And that's where you mentioned they're going to spread your defense out, and they're going to try to run it with the quarterback.
Yep.
Generally see a little more passing out of a spread team as well.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, they will throw the football now. But, I think they want to hang their hat on running the quarterback.
They won't let him run.
Yep.
So on the defensive side, Coach, for them, you mentioned number 9. He's a defensive lineman. That's Elijah Harris. He's a senior, 6 foot 250, and you said he's kind of their guy. What do they do on defense?
He jumps off the screen at you now. Again, another 3-4 defense we'll see this week. They do some things with the overhang guys or the outside backers. They like to bring pressure with those guys, and they do a lot of different things in the secondary. They like to roll the coverages in the secondary, so our quarterback's going to have to make sure they're sure about what they see pre-snap. But they'll roll the coverages. They'll roll the safety from one hash down to the box, and so they'll do some different things in the secondary to keep you off guard.
You say, Coach, you said it the other night. I believe it was in the pregame interview that you did with Chad. It may have been in a different interview that I saw, but you said the only way to guarantee you make the playoffs is to win them all, right?
That's it, man. I mean, things are so uncertain, man, and so, you get an opportunity to play on Friday night, you need to go win.
Can't win them all unless you go 2-0.
That's it. And this week to go, just go 1-0.
Yeah, go 1-0 this. Yeah, that's what you say.
Yep.
John and I were talking the other day, and we were talking about our Coach Vance-isms. You got the things that you say, and John and I kind of got you pegged.
Okay.
But going 1-0 every week is one of those things.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's the goal.
We'll have to have that conversation one day. I'll let John do an impersonation of you, but.
I've heard a few football players that were pretty good impersonating me, but they won't let me. They hadn't shown. I hadn't seen it yet.
Nobody will do it in front of you. Yeah, well, that's how it works. Maybe they'll do it after they graduate, but not while they're still playing. So game this Friday night, 7 o'clock, War Memorial Stadium there in Pascagoula, nice stadium. Am I wrong in thinking that that's where Gaucher and Pascagoula used to play?
I don't know about used to. I know, but Gaucher has their own.
Right. I know they have their own now. I was thinking, though, that they used to both
they're in
play.
the same district. They have the same athletic director, same superintendent, so that's possible.
Yeah, so it's just Pascagoula now, but it's War Memorial Stadium in Pascagoula. Again, like we do every week, talk about rules that you know of and how we can get tickets.
Tickets, we have tickets. We'll be selling tickets Wednesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 7 at Tiger Stadium at the home side ticket booth. So definitely want to come out and buy your tickets and make the trip to Pascagoula, I've had several people tell me we're going to make a weekend out. We're going to stay on the coast this weekend. So definitely go get your tickets. Come enjoy the game Friday night. Help cheer your Tigers on the victory. But those tickets we're going to sell to the general public starting tomorrow from 5 to 7 at the the home ticket booth right there on the campus of Hattiesburg High School. So definitely have an opportunity to come out, help spread the word, let people know. I've had a couple people say, I didn't know where to buy tickets. So we're trying to get the word out as many ways as we can to people where to buy tickets, when they can buy tickets. But it's every Wednesday, road game or home game, Wednesday and Thursday from 5 to 7.
Yeah, if you want to follow me, I'll share that information. Also, HattiesburgTigers.com. That's John's page. He'll share that information. Hattiesburg High Athletics was where I was going on Facebook as well and Twitter. So all that information's out there. If you need to know where to buy tickets, find one of us. We'll get you hooked up with tickets. If you can't go, listen to us on 92.7 The Score. 92.7 FM will be live at the game. We'll also have a live stream going just like we have every week. HattiesburgTigers.com/plans. You can watch a single game for $6.99. It's less than the price of a ticket. You can watch a whole month for $24.99. You can do the whole season for $69.99. So check us out. There's no reason for you not to know what happens Friday night in Pascagoula. I want to thank everybody, all the coaches, players, walk-ons for taking care of us. I want to thank the sponsors, the First, just the bank for you. Hattiesburg Coca-Cola, the City of Hattiesburg, the First Bank, Forest County Board of Supervisors, Forest General Hospital, Southern Bone and Joint, Walk-Ons, Ab Pain Company, Havard Pest Control, Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, Southeast Mississippi Rural Health Initiative, Walt Massey Chevrolet, the church at 4 Points, Parkway Heights United Methodist Church, Hardy Street Baptist Church, West Point Baptist Church, and Sweet Pilgrim Baptist Church. Those are all your pregame meal sponsors.
And shout out to those guys.
Well.
They do a great job of taking care of our football team and feeding those guys pregame meals. So each and every week we look forward to the church doing that, and it's a great help for us. I guarantee you it is. So
they do the food and they come and serve too, right?
Yeah. Normally they come and serve, and we have fellowship there and just enjoy their company. So.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. So I want to invite people again to join us here at Tiger Talk. You never know who's going to show up, who's going to be here. We talked on the broadcast as well the other day, Coach, the Tiger Talk, and then on Friday night, there were probably 3 things that we talked about here on Tuesday that came to fruition that night. And I told people, I was like, if you're not listening to Tiger Talk, you're in the dark because you're getting a ton of information that you're going to see on Friday night. So you got to start listening. But again, 92.7 WMXI app on your phone, HattiesburgTigers.com. Coach, final thoughts.
Man, just looking forward to Friday night. It'll be a great night for high school football. It won't be hot. It'll probably be just jacket weather, man, and just come on down. And it's always a little cool on that water, I tell people. But enjoy a football game and help cheer your Tigers on the victory, man. And just looking forward to it. I am. So thankful to everybody that helps make what we do possible. Our parents, our fans, our administrators, our school district, and certainly our City of Hattiesburg and Board of Supervisors, 2 of our big sponsors. And just thankful for those guys. And so just thankful to have part of my family here tonight.
Yeah.
So my wife snuck in on me. So
Ty didn't make it tonight. But,
maybe I can get her up here to speak one day.
Yeah, we'll get her on here. For everybody, for John Arnder, Chad Davis, myself, the Vances, Hattiesburg Mayor Toby Barker, I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. I know it went a little long. I apologize for that, but I think we got a lot of good information out there. So, again, thanks for joining us. And for us, I want to say good night.
Complete the census, register to vote, and go Tigers.